Hello and welcome to QUTV News this week. I'm Mick Sullivan and this is QUTV News this week. Today we will talk with QU President Dr. Brian Mcgee and we will show you what QU did for Constitution Day this year. We begin with the numbers. There are 45 positive active cases. There are 24 previous positive cases that are not active for a total of 69 positive cases since the beginning of the semester. Some have symptoms, some do not. There are currently 129 students quarantined. Some have active infections. Others are quarantined because of contact with someone who either has symptoms or tested positive or is waiting for test results to come back. Dr. Mcgee, thank you for coming to the studio with us today.
Thank you, Mick. Happy to be here, and you have the numbers right.
Oh, yeah.
That's where we were as of Monday night.
Well, hopefully things get down soon and we can get back on track and have everybody be able to roam around freely again.
We certainly want that, but the reality is this is a very infectious disease, and we're working hard to get the numbers down, but it is going to be a challenge for the rest of the semester, especially with cold and flu season coming. That's why everybody who's listening right now should get themselves a flu shot.
Yes, sir. With the recent uprise in COVID cases on Quincy's campus, do you feel like it's important for an increase in on-campus restrictions for students?
The question is, are there things we could do differently to further restrict how likely it is people would get COVID-19? And the answer is, we've studied that every week since returning to campus. We're going to have a message for campus students, faculty, and staff tomorrow, where we're going to announce one change designed to keep people safer. And we'll also give some advice to continuing students on how they can make sure they keep themselves safe. Since we're now starting to see trends, we can give people better advice that's specific to our circumstances at QU.
With fall sports having their season pushed back into the spring, how do you see winter sports being affected by COVID?
There are a couple of things that we're learning as we go this year. And remember, coronavirus COVID-19 is still very new and we're still learning more each month. We know from the experience of European soccer, of pro sports here in the United States, and some other sport throughout the world, that practice and play are not very high-risk activities for us with COVID-19. So that means I think the NCAA and Division II NCAA in particular is less likely to push back the men's basketball season than was the case previously, and I think that it is possible that, that we can continue to play with our current plan with basketball for men's and women's beginning before the end of this this calendar year, and with the remainder of sports beginning in the spring as scheduled. But we have every expectation that every NCAA sport and men's volleyball here at QU will get to be played as planned.
Well, I'm hopeful for that as well.
Well, we are certainly hopeful for that, but I mean, we're going to go where the science leads us. The science on this one says has been favorable over the last 60 days.
Yeah. All right. Well, as the president of the university, I'm sure you are asked countless questions about COVID throughout your week.
I sure do, Mick.
And I know some of these questions don't really have a clear-cut answer. And how would you deal with those questions that don't have a clear-cut answer, that maybe there's not scientific proof behind, but a lot of people are still looking to you for answers?
Well, it's a great question, Mick, and the answer candidly is there's a lot we don't know about COVID-19. There are some things we know a little bit about, and some things we're very well versed on. So it's my job ultimately, with the support of the vice presidents like Dr. Tracy and Dr. Reed, to figure out the best answer for our campus community, and if the facts change, if the information is updated, if new science comes in, we revise it. But my job is also to tell people when we don't know. Yeah. And I think total transparency and honesty on that front is important. I'm not going to pretend to know something when I don't. Yeah. And so I think what I owe you and every other student, faculty, and staff member here at QU is honesty about the knowns and the unknowns. So that's where we are.
Well, we greatly appreciate that.
Oh, thank you very much, Mick. I don't get very appreciated much these days.
Well, all the Quincy University students here sure do appreciate everything you've been doing.
Thank you for that, Mick. It is a joy every day to wake up and go to work here at QU.
Yes, sir. For a lot of people when the pandemic started, I think it was the longest time that they'd been around their family for a very long period of time. What were some of the enjoyable parts about your stay-at-home order?
Well, first of all, I think many of us appreciate our homes more wherever we were. Some of us were right here in Quincy. A few students were right here on campus. Others were home wherever home was. So for some people, it was more contact with sisters, brothers, other family members than might otherwise have been the case. For some of us, it's just appreciating, again, what we get to do at home. So some of us have a better appreciation for our living room, our family room, and maybe for all the content of Netflix than used to be the case. But also, I think it gave us a little reflection time. And I think that in our society where we're constantly attached to a screen and we're always doing or doing something or reacting to something, maybe a few people got more contemplative time. And that's not a bad thing for me to advise as a Catholic university president.
How do you see the rest of the academic school year playing out?
Right now, I think we're going to each week be talking about how we keep people safe, finding people who are infections, keeping them safe from them, continuing to do face-to-face instruction, continuing to try to create as normal an environment for students as possible. We're here for the long haul. I expect, excuse me, I expect we'll be here through the end of November, right up to the Thanksgiving break. And then some folks will get to go home for a good long time before we come back for the spring semester. Others will be here almost continuously because of their obligations either to work or family here in Quincy, or in some cases because they're going right to practice for the spring season.
All right, well, hopefully, let's say in a perfect world, COVID ends soon. What is something that you're looking forward to doing after COVID's over, when the virus is all said and done?
Mick, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not going to be soon. We know that even if we get a great vaccine in the next several weeks, which would be incredibly optimistic, that it'll take time to produce it, to give it out. It's going to be months. But when that time comes, I'm going to look forward to walking into a restaurant with my mask off, sitting down, not thinking twice about it, and shaking the hand of anybody who comes up to me. And I think there are a lot of other people who would say the same thing. We're all thinking about the things we used to do, and we know we're going to get to do again. The coronavirus pandemic is going to be over one day, and we're going to enjoy the heck out of that. Until then, we're just going to have to be smart and try to find moments of enjoyment in everyday life during the pandemic.
Yes, sir. Well, Dr. Mcgee, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate having you.
It's a pleasure to be here, Mick. Stay safe, God bless, wear your mask, and it's a great day to be a Hawk.
Yes, sir. QU hosted a voting rights night for students and members of the community. Faculty and students shared words from famous suffrage and civil rights leaders. Students and bystanders gathered outside of Brenner Library to listen and learn about our voting history.
Very important to, one, I think have an event where we can do that on campus, but also I think it's important to teach the history of voting in our society. Because there's a lot of history that goes behind voting, and there's a lot of reason that we should go out and vote. And I think that if we know
voter registration websites where you can either register to vote or check your registration status.
The event was held last Thursday in celebration of Constitution Day. A table was set up to give students the opportunity to get registered to vote. Early voting in Illinois opens tomorrow, September 24th. If you have more questions, email us at quumedia@quincy.edu. You can also follow us at quumedia.net or on all our QUTV social media platforms. For QUTV News, I'm Mick Sullivan. Stay safe and wear your mask.